Season's greetings. This is NFL Game Day Highlights presented by CDW. We'd like to wish everyone out there a happy first day of Hanukkah. Chris Rose,
very good.
Goes to you. I'm Cole Wright alongside the one and only Chris Rose. As I said, we're presented by CDW and talk about playoff scenarios. More scenarios than Sudoku combinations, Chris. And everything would have settled itself out in the NFC. That is, if things would go according to plan, and one of those late ones between the Cowboys and the Eagles. Who knows?
We will certainly get to that, and also we'll focus on the AFC and the bottom of the AFC playoff picture. That's where the Steelers checked in as the 6th seed. But the magic number for them was 2, as in 2 quarterbacks used. We'll get to the bottom of that next on Game Day Highlights.
We are back, and be remembered to watch live, local, and primetime NFL games for free, and you can do it all season long with the official app of the NFL. You can do it on your phone or your tablet. Plus, get all your latest breaking news, highlights, and more. What do you need to do? Just download the NFL app in your app store today, or you can do it over at NFL.com/mobile. Do it now.
On NFL.com this week, you read about the firing of Tom Coughlin. What's that mean for the future of Doug Marrone? Well, this Sunday he was coaching in Atlanta. Devontae Freeman. This team played much better the last month and a half. Takes the quick pitch. He gone. Falcons are up 7-0 after his second rushing touchdown of the year. Next Falcons possession, Matt Ryan. Another 300-yard game for him. Freeman had 127 total yards. Couple of scores. It's 14-0. Let's celebrate. Yeah, Prime, I'm sure you're watching. Why are you playing with my emotions? Is what he'd probably say. As for Julio, another record-setting day for him. Passes the Hall of Famer. The playmaker, Michael Irvin, 27th place all-time receiving list. Also had his 6th straight 1,200-yard receiving season. That guy's just a beast. Third quarter, on this one, 32-yard gain. The youngest player, at least in terms of games played, 12,000 career receiving yards, 125 career games. Second closest, Jerry Rice, 17 fewer games than Rice to get to that mark. Fourth quarter, Gardner Minshew looking for DJ Chark, but it's Bleedy Ray Wilson. And guess who has won 5 of 7? Not those guys. Yeah, those guys. Yeah, you should celebrate. Well done. They get their 6th win of the year. The losing Lions out in Colorado, Matt Patricia, we were told by the Ford family he is A-OK for 2020, but they must improve. They really didn't today. Drew Lock fakes the handoff. Pitches it to Deshaun Hamilton. I like that. That was kind of nifty. Broncos take a 2017 lead. Then it's Phillip Lindsay. Had one of his best games of the year. 19 carries, $107. Lions have lost 8 in a row for the first time since 2012.
All right, this is the game everyone was waiting to watch. Bengals, Dolphins.
Stop.
They were down 23 points.
This was a good game.
It was. 6 and change to go in the fourth frame. Andy Dalton to Tyler Boyd. Oh, Bengals are within 8. The 2-point conversion was good. So here comes Randy Bullock, and there goes the onside kick. And how about old Jordan Evans? Good hands team for a reason. First recovered onside kick since 2010 for Cincy. Too much Skyline chili in the mix. 4 plays later. 3 seconds to go. Dalton saying, please, whatever you do, don't forget about me. And please remember Tyler Eifert. 25-yard touchdown, another 2-point convo. Would not the affair at 35 apiece. And Brian Flores still thinking to himself, why did I even take this job and leave New England? Let's go to overtime. Sanders, Jason Sanders. You call him the Colonel. 11 herbs and spices. Brian Flores and Ryan Fitzpatrick, they were over the moon. Dolphins, they get the win in this one, 38-35. So that means that Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Well, can you say that they clinched the number 1 overall pick?
They win the number 1 overall pick.
Clinching scenarios are usually good. Maybe you should say that the Bengals stepped into that number 1 overall draft pick. And the Redskins, they'll be at number 2. The Lions, Giants, Dolphins, of course, in descending order.
And with that, we welcome those of you that are just joining us here on Game Day Highlights, presented by CDW. That's Cole Wright. I am Chris Rose. So we are talking about clinching scenarios. We actually had one in the NFC East. Yes, it's the division that seemingly nobody wanted to win this year.
Yep.
But Dallas could get one with a W in Philly. Dak Prescott with that sprained AC joint, trying to loosen up that shoulder. Didn't practice a ton this week. Eagles eliminated with a loss.
You talking about practice?
Yeah, we
Not
were.
a game.
We're talking about a game, practice. All right, Carson Wentz hit a guy named Dallas against Dallas. That's Dallas Goedert, 6 yards in the score, and it's 10-0. Yeah, Wentz had that Philly faithful all pumped up. Second quarter, Dallas still down 10-zip. 3rd and 10. Look how much Dak wants this. Eludes the rush. He doesn't just bow out of bounds. He puts that shoulder, leads with it, and tries to get to the sticks. Comes up a couple yards shy, gain of only 7. So they had to settle for a field goal. They would trail 10-3 and be down 10-6 at the break. Third quarter, same score, Zeke. Kind of a quiet afternoon for him. Usually he runs right through the Eagles defense, averages 115 yards a game against them. But on this day, just 47 yards. And here he hits his head on a first down carry. So he takes himself out of the game. 2 plays later, 3rd and 1, he's still out. Tony Pollard on the quick pitch. This does not work. But Doug Peterson's like, I smell something fishy on this thing. No, I want to challenge. I think he lost the rock. And upon further review, Fletcher Cox knocks that thing out.
Come on.
Philly recovers, so it's Eagles ball, and Zeke was nowhere to be found on that series. He would return in the next Dallas series. But later in the third, Wentz to Greg Ward, the great story. The old Houston Cougar quarterback, cut a half dozen times by this team. Now one of their starting receivers, and then it's Miles Sanders, the rookie who's played so well over the last month. And the boss man, Jeffrey Lurie's like, yeah, we're up 17-6, and that boss man not enjoying it. Fourth quarter, same score. Zeke back in this thing with his team down 11. It's 3rd and 1. So what do? They roll out. Amari Cooper, pretty much a no-show on this day. Jason Garrett decides to punt team with 14 and change. Next Dallas possession, 4th and 9. They're going to go for it, sniffing midfield. Dak to, look at the catch by Randall Cobb. That's a game saver for Dallas, so the drive continues, and 3 plays later on 3rd and 4, Prescott looking for Michael Gallup. Nah, so they had to settle for a 3rd field goal, and boss man's like, all right, so we're down 8. That's still just a score. All right, ensuing Eagles possession. Wentz, stripped by Robert Quinn, medicine man. But Wentz would recover and be forced to punt. So, Dak, he's got a shot with under 4 to go. And it's Cobb again for a pitch and catch of 21. Gets that close to midfield. 2 plays later, Prescott and Cobb. That's the law firm of Prescott and Cobb. They charge by the hour. That's another gain of 18 to the Eagle 36. Now 4th and 8. Prescott looking for Michael Gallup in the end zone and can't make the play. Sidney Jones knocked it away. Look at the effort there.
Sidney Jones can jump, huh?
He can. He definitely can. And that's about it for Jared. But you know what? If you stop him, you can get the ball back, but they do not. That's Miles Sanders breaking through. Yeah, he just stays inbounds. Smart job, rookie. Eagles, they didn't win the East yet, but they are in control because, as you can see, if the Eagles win next week at the Giants or Dallas loses at home against Washington, Philly, NFC East champs. Dallas still alive, but disappointed after Sunday.
Extremely disappointing, to say the least. Philadelphia obviously gets the leg up now. We are very disappointed when you get yourself technically in a spot to kind of come into a Philadelphia team that's got the players they've got, even though they had missing a lot of them. When you get in this spot, you give yourself a chance to be real disappointed. We are. The fact that we didn't get any scores, the fact the game turned out the way it did, they played well. I'm not about to say about anything else other than it's very disappointed. We all expected to leave here as the NFC's champs. We're not. We just go to Washington, but this is we let them really get in, do the things they played well. Wentz played well, as you all can assess for yourself.
All right, Pearl Jam, Sir Mix-a-Lot, Nirvana, and Russell Wilson, all synonymous with making sweet music and all fixtures in the Emerald City of Seattle. But the biggest difference, Eddie Vedder, Chris Novoselic, and Mr. A Lot may not be who you want under center versus a rookie quarterback. Russell, on the other hand, well, he's the perfect candidate. The former Super Bowl champ and unblemished 6-0 at the dojo when he takes on play callers who are in Kinesiology 310 or the college football playoff in 2018. So plain and simple, Kyler Murray, a good luck. The Seahawks, they have the highest win percentage with a point differential below 30 since 1950 when Pete Carroll was 43, right?
No, we'd stop.
Oldest coach in the National Football League. First quarter, Cardinals ball. Kenyon Drake, remember what he did last week? Yeah, he was balling. He would do more of the same, picking up where he left off and picking him up and putting it down when it comes to those feet. The hoofs, they're strong, 80 yards to the house, and that would square things up just like that on Drake's longest touchdown of his career in Seattle. They were in disbelief from the very early going. Second stanza, Cardinals ball, 2nd and 7 at the Seattle 21, Kyler Murray, to the man who keeps putting Father Time in the rearview mirror on a daily basis. Who is it? It's Larry Fitzgerald. Just like that, 21 yards, making things happen, and it's a 14-7 game. And the Cardinals, they were up 17-7 at intermission. So let's fast forward to the third. Kyler, what's he doing? What he usually does, scrambling, like Randall with his, a gain of 4, but he would come up short of that first down. He's a little upset there because Murray injured on the play, so that would mean that Brett Hundley, former UCLA play caller, would come in. And Cardinals, they kicked a field goal. They were up 20-7. Cardinals moving. Brett Hundley dropping back. Brett Hundley going down. That's Kalen Reed and Bradley McDougald getting the better of him. Reed feeling it, and then later on, Rasheem Green getting the block on that kick. Marquise Blair. These are just the facts of life, Blair. Going all the other way to the Cardinals 16. So the Seahawks, they're feeling the flow.
So are you saying they take the good and they take the bad?
Yeah, the facts of life. You Tootie or Blair guy?
Stop.
Late in the fourth, Brett Hundley can't find anyone, so he scrambles. 14-yard chunk. That would keep the drive alive and well. And number 7, feeling pretty good about his exploits after that. Now, 4 plays later, 2nd and 11 at the Seattle 15. Hundley, he's a scrambling machine. Let's call him the egg beater. Getting loose right here on 2nd and 11. And he's fired up on the last play. He's loving it after that play. Very next play, 1st and goal at the Seattle 3. Not a rapper, not a singer. I don't know how many turtlenecks he has, but it's Drake. Cardinals with the 27-13 win. Seahawks, they allowed 253 rushing yards. Pete Carroll, can't believe it. That's the most since 2010. So the first loss at home to a rookie quarterback for Russell Wilson. Now here's how everything's shaking out over there in the NFC West. The 49ers are 12-3, and they can wrap things up in the division and home field with a win versus Seattle in that game. As we know, that was flexed to Sunday Night Football. And for Seattle, they can lock things up divisionally with a win versus San Francisco.
Hey, great time of year to hang with the relatives. And for the first time ever, Le'Veon Bell got to face his first NFL family. Steelers came to town with the playoffs just 2 Pittsburgh wins away. So would Bell get any extra satisfaction from derailing those postseason hopes? Well, Bell said he always gives max effort each and every game. But, quote, if I get an extra squeeze, I'll try. Certainly busted out the troll game wearing the Steelers colors to the game. That's nice touch.
Nice
Either
change.
that or he just won stage 6 of the Tour de France. Devlin Hodges, 4 picks last week in that loss against Buffalo, and he was back at it again Sunday. Hodges looking for Juju Smith-Schuster, who's back in the lineup, picked by Terrell Basham. Hodges' 7th pick this year led to a Jets field goal. Now up 10-zip. How many cliches can I fit into this one? That's a wounded duck, and off by Marcus May. Call it Mayday, Mayday. Hodges, have a seat. Cue Mason Rudolph. Welcome back. So look at this fan. I'm taking my duck head and my 6 jersey off. I'm putting on number 2. And what time of year, since it's Mason Rudolph, I'm putting on my Rudolph. This guy came prepared. Like, he knew his guy was going to get
ready
benched.
when you stay ready, Chris.
Unbelievable. So with 9 ticks left in the half, after a T.J. Watt forced fumble by Sam Darnold, Rudolph hits Deontay Johnson. We are tied at 10. There's those terrible towels on the road. Third quarter, the Steelers down 3. Keep your eye on the Pro Bowl center, Marquise Pouncey, on this run by Benny Snell. Trying to pull out wide, falls to the turf. He attempted to get up on his own, really couldn't, so they needed to cart him off the field. Now, usually we don't make a big deal about this, but remember, this is the center. So here comes the 4th-year man, B.J. Finney. his first snap, and we got a stumble, and Rudolph tries to get up and gets pounded. Lands on his non-throwing shoulder. So you know what that means? He's out, and the guy that Mike Tomlin just benched, whack, whack, we're making a duck call. He's got to go back in.
Nice.
Yep. So fourth quarter, Steelers still down just 3. Hodges back in. Another abort snap. Hodges has to fall on it. An 8-yard loss. Definitely takes him out of field goal range on 3rd and 16. So they'd have to punt. Later on in the fourth. Up 6. They ran Le'Veon Bell to try and salt us away 3 straight times. It didn't work. He had only 93 scrimmage yards against his former team. So guess who's got that chance? Devlin Hodges. Do you have it in you, sir? Under a minute to go, down 6. It's 3rd and 7. Hodges looking for James Washington. These two have been so good on the deep stuff this year, but it doesn't work as Marcus May knocks it away. Going left hand and a beauty. So now 4th and 7. One more shot. And look what happens. Mike Tomlin doesn't even want to watch. It's another bad snap. Hodges picks it up, looking for Juju Smith-Schuster, who got his hands on it, but it doesn't work. Hines Ward, the former Steeler great and Jets offensive assistant, is excited.
He said he wanted that.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin, not so pumped.
Like we talked about, you take care of the ball or we got decisions to make, and Duck didn't take care of the ball early, so we made a decision.
Will that continue moving forward if you don't feel like somebody's getting it?
You know, Mason's health is an element of the equation now, so stay tuned.
All right, let's get things going. New Orleans and Tennessee. Drew Brees broke the NFL touchdown record last week, and the Saints currently looking for that 1 seed, but they could be as low as the 3 seed. In the first quarter, Ryan Tannehill to Deion Lewis to A.J. Brown and Marcus Williams had nothing doing. Couldn't make the tackle, so 49 yards, Mr. Brown to the house. Only 11 career rushing yards before that, but that put the Titans at 14-0. Not how they drew it up, huh? Okay, so apparently Drew and his wide receiver extraordinaire, the man on the verge of history, Michael Thomas, not on the same page as you said. Overthrows him there, almost got picked by Kevin Byard, and Drew not happy with Mr. Thomas. Then second quarter, Drew looking for Michael once more, and apparently he could be guarded right here. Almost picked once again by Tremaine Brock Sr. So the pair, not in the best of graces. I told you to take a left at Magazine Street. We'll get this all ironed out. So as we progress in this one, you see Brees, yeah, a little trickeration. He could see that. Brees on 1st and 10, slanging that thing. Oh, down the field, Jared Cook. Cutting up the field. Alvin Kamara, that was a lead blocker, kids. Follow your blockers. 11 rushes, 80 yards for Kamara and Drew Brees right there. Saw the trickeration. Rashaan Evans tried to tell the defense, guys, let's fix it, but it didn't work. Drew Brees is good for a reason. So we showed you about Alvin Kamara. Hasn't scored a touchdown since week 3. And Chris, normally when we say things like that, you know what happens?
Ends up scoring.
Yeah, that's usually when they debunk that myth.
Following
Third quarter. We've been doing this for 16 weeks, in fact, and Alvin Kamara, he's been doing that right there to the tune of 40 yards. One half of the Boudin boys right there finding pay dirt. First touchdown since week 3. Saints still moving. Kamara still scoring. This, a 1-yard touchdown, 11 rushes, 80 yards, as we said, and a pair of house calls to put the Saints in front by a 10 spot. More from the third. Tannehill. After he directs a little traffic, Tajay Sharp, he was wide open, and he hits that left sideline. The rest, 36-yard history. Putting that one in the books as a paint push. Sharp finished 69 yards, a pair of scores, and 5 receptions. But the Saints, they wouldn't go quietly. After the score, Drew Brees to Cook. That's his second of the day. This time, 16 yards, making it happen. And Next Gen Stats say that's the most improbable completion this season for old Drew. He's putting it in the window of a Barbie dream house. That's what happens when you wear those nifty color rush uniforms in all white. Time now, though, for your orchestrated drive of the day presented by CDW. Marvin Harrison has the record most receptions in a single season with 143. Michael Thomas, we told you, on the verge of history. Fourth frame, Saints up 3. Brees to Michael Thomas. Oh, almost to the house, but play to be reviewed. We know scoring plays, they are just that. Thomas just short right there, but nevertheless, he breaks Marvin's record, 144th snag. The call would be reversed, so he's ruled down at the 1. What does Sean Payton do? He rewards his guys. Second and goal. Michael, there you go, man. Making it happen.
Nice.
2-yard touchdown. Saints, they go on to get the W in this one. Crossing T's and dotting I's, 38-28. The first team to come back from down 14-0 on the road since Week 10, 2016. And I just said, they could be the 1 seed, they could be the 3 seed. Next week, they take on Carolina, so we will find out. But when it comes to the all-time reception leaders in a season, Michael Thomas, he still has Week 17 to play, and there are some big-time implications. Marvin Harrison now at 2, and then there's AB and Julio, both knotted for 3 and 4 at 136. And when you do great things, yeah, great people get on the Twitter sphere. Yeah, congrats, Can't Guard Mike. Single-season reception record, breaking the record on an incredible route. He ran nasty. You literally can't guard him. Fitting for his Twitter handle. LeBron James, he is a maestro when it comes to social media. Now, when it comes to the clinching scenarios over there in the AFC for the Titans, what do they need to do? Well, they needed to get a win or a Pittsburgh loss and an Oakland loss or an Indy loss. That's Week 17. For the Steelers, they win and Tennessee loses versus Houston, then safe to say that the Steelers, they will be riding along.
September 29th marked the apex of Cleveland's season and the low point of Baltimore's. The Browns put a 40-burger on the Ravens to leave both teams at 2-2. Since then, Cleveland has battled inconsistent play and on-field behavior, and Baltimore hasn't lost. The Jackson 5 stands for the number of touchdowns the likely MVP accounts for each and every week, and another perfect performance today would lock up the number 1 seed for the first time ever for the Baltimore Ravens. Jackson, hoping this would be his final road game of the season before a possible trip to Miami and the Super Bowl. Struggling, though, in the first quarter. A little problem with Mark Ingram. Browns end up recovering on this. Ingram, by the way, left the game later with a calf injury. No structural damage, according to John Harbaugh, but this was the goofy problem here. Baltimore, which leads the league in first quarter scoring, held without a point against the Browns this year. And Jackson, modest numbers in the first half. 5-11, 38 yards, right before the 2-minute warning with his team down 6-0. Then he cranked it up, finding Mark Andrews, 39 yards to 89 for 6. The PAT's good. How about rock, paper, scissors, shoot? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Browns go 1, 2, 3, shoot, and then punt. Give the ball back to Baltimore. Then with under a minute to go, Lamar to Mark Andrews again. Gets it up to midfield. It's a 24-yard gain. And then how about that? It's not the Lambeau leap, that's the Randall leap by the big fella. 6 plays later with just a few ticks left. Look at it. Lamar avoids T.J. Carey, gets it to Andrews for the score. Unbelievable. Jackson, another 3 TD tosses, giving him 36 this season. That's the most ever by a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. By the way, Jackson, 7 of 9, 138, and 2 touchdowns after the 2-minute warning. That ain't bad. Fourth quarter with the Browns down 15 and playing for their playoff live. Baker Mayfield, wait a second, this can't possibly be right. Hits Odell Beckham for a touchdown? Third time they've hooked up this year. So down 9, they actually go for 2 here. Interesting decision. What does Freddie Kitchens dial up? Baker on point to Ricky Seals-Jones, who can't make the snag, so the Browns are down 2 possessions. But look what happened. Odell fires his helmet, gets over to Freddie, and they're chopping it up about something. We'll get to the bottom of that in just a second. As for the Ravens, they get the ball back, and look at what Lamar Jackson ends up doing. With his team up 9, it was the 8th time this year the Ravens top 200 yards rushing. The move on Sione Taki, that's a fakey. And a great move, another 100-yard effort for Jackson, 17 carries, a $103. And I mentioned that Baltimore rush game, the rookie Justice Hill, man, oh man, gets in from 18 yards out. For the Browns, make it 17 years and counting without the postseason. That's the longest drought going in the NFL. As for the Ravens, they tie a record for most wins in a season with 13, and their coaches heaping praise on the QB.
How many interceptions did he have for the season? 6. 36-6. Man, what more do you need to say? It's amazing. It's tremendous. It's one of the best. Yeah. Should I say it? Huh? Marshall? It's not bad for a running back. We good? That's a drop the mic. Get out of here. Yeah.
You can't call yourself on dropping the mic. You just drop the mic,
Yeah,
John.
you gotta just
Come
do it.
on.
Yeah.
You know what? They're feeling good about themselves, and they should, because as the Ravens tweeted out, 1 seed, but we're not done yet. And we're not done yet with the Odell Beckham Jr. play. We saw it earlier. The Browns failed to convert on the 2-point conversion that would have gotten them within 7. Odell loses his helmet, hangs out with Freddie Kitchens for quite a while, and people were wondering, what in the world was this discussion about? Coach Kitchens, the floor is yours.
I think it was something dealing with one of their guys. I don't think it wasn't the call or anything like that. I don't think there's a big deal there. He's voicing frustration on how they're treating him.
So it was an altercation with Baltimore?
Yeah, something like that. You'd have to ask him that.
No, we was just talking.
About the offense, I presume?
Football, the refs making calls, and basically they're warning me that I have one more personal foul, whatever it is, and I'd be out the game, which, I thought was pretty stupid. That I got a personal foul for a celebration that I've done all year, when it's not like a player was in front of me or anybody. It was like very unintentional. But it is what it is.
All right, now last season for the Silver and Black Oakland Raiders, good pass rushers are hard to find, man. Well, that was the phrase that hung over the underachieving season from front to back. Fast forward to today, and quality wins, they're hard to find. That could be the new phrase that pays for John Gruden and the fellas. And loses of 4 straight, Oakland staring down the barrel of elimination week 16. A win, and they still have a heartbeat. A loss, and it's Viva Las Vegas. So let's get down to business, because the Silver and Black, they had some business to take care of. And as we said, they've allowed the most points per game in the league. So first quarter, no score. Hunter Renfrow, welcome back, and he's going house hunting. It's a Sunday. Might have time to stop at one of the big box stores. He might not have enough time, but he did have time for that score. 7-0, and had that rib injury that kept him out for 3 games. Second quarter, after a little powwow on the sideline, DC rolling right. Jalen Richard, a 10-yard piece of real estate. Carr, he's a fan, and why not? Because 5 plays later, Raiders on 3rd and 1. Carr, I think I'll just do this one all by myself. First rushing touchdown in quite some time. Raiders doubling them up. It's 14-7. Carr finished 26 of 30 with that rushing touchdown and one of the passing variety. Third quarter, DeAndre Washington. Hi there. Yeah, cracking that big rectangle with paint in it. That's a touchdown. Raiders out in front, 21-7. Chargers moving. Melvin Gordon scoring. See how he shakes out next season with whatever team he's on. Second house call of the day. Chargers down 21-14. Fourth and final, Phillip Rivers. Cleveland Farrell, here he comes. And there he goes. Loss of 14, that man. Remember, 4th overall pick out of Clemson. He's had quite the season. Raiders, they're still alive, so no more Viva Las Vegas, because they got a win, but not in Vegas. 24-17, that's the final. So when it comes to those clinching scenarios, Week 17 for the Titans, we showed you a little earlier, a win or Pittsburgh loss, and an Oakland loss or Indy loss gets them in. But for the Raiders, a win and a Titanic loss and a Pittsburgh L. And if the Indianapolis Colts, if they win, then things will go their way. But there's so many different scenarios, and the Raiders, all they know they need to do is go out there and get themselves a W.
Back to the NFC, where Dallas was looking to clinch the NFC East with a win on the road in Philly. Dak Prescott with that sprained AC joint. Eagles just trying to stay alive. They're up 3-0 in the first, and Carson Wentz, boy, did he have a good game. 31 of 40 for 319. His leading receiver was a guy named Dallas against Dallas, as in Goddard. 5th touchdown catch of the year in a 10-0 lead. Third quarter, it's 10-6. Wentz looking for maybe the best story in the NFL. Greg Ward, the former Houston Cougars quarterback who's been cut a half dozen times, gets the pitch and catch for 38. Then 5 plays later, it's Miles Sanders. The rookie has been special the last month. Jeffrey Lurie, the owner's loving it. His team's up 11. The other boss man ain't too happy. Fourth quarter, Dallas down a score, 4th and 8. Dak Prescott looking for Michael Gallup. Had a chance, but Sidney Jones knocks it away. So the Eagles take over on downs. That's textbook, folks. Jerry's about had enough. I got to go to my press conference. Eagles ensuing possession. Look at Sanders on 3rd and 2. Dallas had a chance to get the ball back if they could stop him. They couldn't. Sanders, 156 total yards. Eagles win. They don't take the division, but they will with a win at the Meadowlands next week. That's right. You can't count out the Eagles.
I mean, obviously, yeah, you don't want it to come down to the month of December. I mean, but you'd like to play a little better, September, October, November. But I just think the guys, this is the team that when their back's against the wall, I mean, they come out swinging and fighting and whatever it takes. Sometimes it's not pretty, and it doesn't have to be, and just put some plays together, score more points than our opponent, hold our opponents down, and just play great team football. And if we don't beat ourselves, we give ourselves a chance, and that was what happened tonight.
Unfortunately, we didn't get the job done, and we all have to own it. I have to own it. The coaching staff has to own it. All the players and staff members have to own it and give the Eagles credit. And now we have to go forward. Unfortunately, we don't control our destiny anymore, but we do control our opportunity next week against Washington. So we'll get back in there. We'll clean up this game. We'll get our eyes forward. We'll try to do our part and finish up the season the right way.
So Dallas needs a win and an Eagles loss at the Giants in order to clinch the NFC East. If not, it'll be Philly's game. As you can see, 5 of the 6 spots on the dance card have already been reserved. We have no idea about the order, so that's going to be a whole lot of fun in Week 17. Time to chop it up with our Hall of Famer, primetime Deion Sanders, who's in studio with us this week. All right, Prime, before we get to the Cowboys side of this, can we give Philadelphia some credit? They've got 10 guys on the injured list. They were missing the likes of Lane Johnson and Jordan Howard today and Nelson Aguilar as well. Carson Wentz, right? Let's give him some credit here.
First of all, you want me to waste some valuable time on a Sunday, beautiful afternoon, talking about 2 7-7 football teams. See, I'm already mad and upset and appalled because we got a plethora of teams that's really balling. And we're talking about these two, and you're talking about the Cowboys, who's losing to a team that had the whole darn squad on injury reserve, even the mascot. I don't even know if the Eagles' helmet was not on injury reserve. Was it able to play? And they still found a way to lose. See, the difference between you guys and I know, I'm not about to blame the coaches. I've seen some lackluster performances out there today that I'm so upset with. I don't know what to do. I feel like really get on a plane and go into Dallas and waiting for the team at the airport so I can voice my concerns.
Okay, how about Week 17, though? We talked about Philly and all the injuries that they've sustained, but Dallas at the house taking on the Washington Redskins.
Ain't nobody care. I don't care. I don't care about Week 17, the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Redskins. I don't care about the Eagles taking on the Giants because whomever win this garbage fiasco in this division is set up for a homecoming to whoever they play in the first round. That's really what it is. Now, let's talk about something that I'm really passionate about.
What's that?
Seattle and those 12.
Oh,
you remember that 12?
Sunday Night Football.
I see.
You remember that 12 that said they were really a part of the game and the third loss at home?
Yeah.
12, where are you,
Okay.
12? You can reach me.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm easy to be found, 12.
We can.
You really played a great role in that game, 12.
We'll talk about that tonight on
lost the
Game Day Prime.
You lost
I know.
Cardinals 12.
Hey, listen, obviously you had some great guests coming up on the show tonight. Tell us about it.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I'll tell them then.
Okay.
Stop.
Nice.
Lamar Jackson's coming up.
Lamar's coming.
Michael Thomas, the single-season receptions leader.
Yep.
All right. So
And the 12. I'm interviewing the 12. They stole the darn name from Texas A&M. First and foremost, let's address that 12.
Oh,
We'll
gosh.
have yell leaders next game. Just
Unbelievable.
Like that. All right.
It's good.
All right. You want to catch these guys on Game Day Prime. It's coming your way, 11:30 Eastern Time. Prime, good stuff as always. How about Cardinals and the Seahawks? That's the game that Prime was talking about. The 12, not out in full force. Second quarter, Kyler Murray to Larry Fitzgerald. These two guys making things look easier than breathing. Here it is. There it goes. Larry Fitzgerald after a little razzle-dazzle from Mr. Murray doing the rest right there. Seahawks in disbelief. Murray would injure his leg. He would not return in this one. Now Murray, well, since he was out, that would open the door for old Brett Hundley. Fourth quarter, hands it off to Kenyon Drake, who's just piggybacking off of the week he had last week. Oh, Cardinals, they get the win 27-13. Pete Carroll, what went wrong?
We just weren't good enough today, and we were ready to play and jacked up and all that, and then it turns out like that. It's just really a surprise. We could talk about this, and you guys can ask your questions and stuff, but really our focus is gone on that game because it wasn't going to be on this game after we got in this locker room anyway, with the game coming up next week. But everything's comes down to the final week of the season. We're fortunate that we have a chance to play for a division this late in the year, and what's important for us is to and be disciplined about this so that we can turn our focus to that week and not be affected by what just happened.
Well, Week 17 will be worth the price of admission. Pete Carroll says he knows what's in front of him, and taking a look at this playoff picture, all the seeds they're locked up almost because Dallas and, of course, Philly, they need to get some wins. And Chris Carson, when it comes to Seattle and their postseason attack, well, he will not take part in Week 17. And Pete Carroll saying he could be out for the remainder of the season. As always, check out NFL.com for the very latest on C-Double. In the meantime, Panthers taking on the Colts. Colts, they dropped 4 straight. They lost to the Saints on Monday night. And Nyheim Hines, he was poised for a big day. First quarter, Panthers down 7-0. And Hines saying, let's increase that lead, guys. Like a drifter, he was born to walk alone. There he is, Chris. Again, he's on his own. 84 yards just like that. First Colts punt return for a touchdown since 2012. Old Darius Renat, he's the one who did that. Now, how about Will Greer? Getting his first career start under center, went to West Virginia, and the struggles, well, they would really spring up in front of his pops. It's tough to watch your offspring out there on the field of play. 3rd and 18, that's picked by Anthony Walker, and Dad was all like, ooh, maybe if I hide my face down there by my lap, no one will know I'm his dad. Greer, 27 of 44, 3 interceptions. I'm sure he's a proud pops.
Yeah, I'm sure after that comment he is.
To come down the pipe. Fourth quarter now, Panthers still down on the punt return. Hines doing this one more time. Woo. Yeah, someone sprinkled cayenne pepper on those shoes. 71 yards. Oh, second touchdown on the day. His punt return skills strong. Colts, they win 38-6. Greg Olsen.
Right now, I'm not sure what our plan is. I think we want to win now, but we want to build for the future. We want to play. It's just a really tough way to operate right now, and players are underperforming. I think it's right now a very collective failure, organizationally failure, and our fans deserve better. A lot of guys in this locker room deserve better. The coaches that have been around here deserve better, and it's just been an overall failure, I think, is probably the best way to put it.
Giants, Redskins, Daniel Jones back in the game. He was out the last 2 weeks. He had that busted up ankle. And Saquon Barkley, he balled last week, looking to do more of the same. First quarter, the chef. Saquon gets the handoff. Hey, Monte Nicholson, you ready? Are you ready, Mike? Oh. He's not ready at all. 67 yards, making things happen. Giants, just like that, it's 14-7. Barkley had 189 rushing yards. That's a career high. Also had 90 receiving yards. How about Dwayne Haskins? Started off the day well. He was efficient, 12 of 15, but that right there, never what you want to see. Sacked by Marcus Golden and Lorenzo Carter. It's a 7-yard loss. He would leave the game, would not return. So enter Case Keenum. 4th and final. What does Keenum do? Gives it to that man, Adrian Peterson. 1-yard touchdown, and history is his. Sole control of 4th place on the all-time touchdown list. He passed up Sweetness. And then it's Steve Sims Jr. from Case Keenum. 32 yards making that happen. Redskins, they get themselves a first down, and then Keenum again trying to do his Derek Carr impression. Rushing touchdown, capping a 14-play, 99-yard drive. Oh, that would square things at 35 each. Now we would go to overtime, known as free football on the streets, in the first drive of OT. Daniel Jones saying, Caden Smith, let's get out of here. There's plenty on the DVR Sunday night. 3-yard touchdown, yes, Giants. They also say yes. They get the win 41-35. Now, Dwayne Haskins, if you want to get a little confusion cleared up here, says, I want to clarify something from my press conference. Dr. West advised me that I was done for the game. Dan Snyder, who was in the locker room supporting me, told me I've got to listen to the doctor. Looking forward to getting back healthy for Skins Nation. Of course, hashtag HTTR. I'm sure there were a lot of hashtags that were sent out when Adrian Peterson jumped even further into that history book, taking a look at those guys who have tons of touchdowns. Emmitt Smith, our own LaDainian Tomlinson, Marcus Allen, and then in sole controls, he passed up Sweetness at number 5, the pride of Palestine, Texas. There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Adrian Peterson. Call him, sir.
Back to Philly. This one's for Deion Sanders. That's right. Cowboys and Eagles. Dak with the bum shoulders, still lacing it up, trying to get Dallas a division title. Eagles would be eliminated if they lost. Miles Sanders, the rookie's been great the last few weeks. Almost 160 scrimmage yards. His boss is loving it. Dallas's ain't, because Dallas is down 11. Now down 8 in the fourth and 8. Dak looking for Michael Gallup. Sidney Jones knocks it away. Philly does not win the division. They lead the division heading into Week 17. Dallas misses out on an opportunity to clinch.
Yeah, we didn't get it done. We're too talented of a team and individuals to not make the plays, starting with myself. And it's disappointing, it's frustrating, but we all take responsibility. And as I said, it begins with me, and we're too talented, and we just didn't execute the way that we're capable of doing, and they did.
How can you say we're a better team if we didn't go out there and beat them? When it was time to do it in the crunch time, we needed one win to solidify the division, and we couldn't do it. So I wouldn't say that, you can't just say that we're a better team because we may have better players on the roster. I do believe we're a better team, but the team that goes out there and plays the best is the one that's going to win, and that's what happened tonight.
I'll tell you who the best team in the AFC is.
Who's that?
The Baltimore Ravens. They clinched the 1 seed for the first time ever. But did Lamar Jackson get another honor? We'll check out our Sunday standouts next.